Hey, this is Jerry Pujals. This is our third episode inside my kitchen. I want to welcome you for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. On the last one, I had people even from South Africa putting up comments. So I really welcome anybody who wants to join me in this whole journey of eating better and being healthy. So today we're going to do a massive lasagna. By massive, I mean it'll be very thick and dense lasagna, all vegan, plant-based, whole foods, and it'll have a ton of protein. So for those haters that say you can't get protein in your vegan meals, we're gonna have a ton of protein. So I'm just gonna also say one thing. I want you to consider creativity as a way to express yourself in the kitchen. So I don't measure a lot. I'm not a trained chef. I just explore a lot in the kitchen. And by exploring, I mean, I just fall forward. If something doesn't feel like it's right, I go the other way. I kind of explore. I experiment a little bit. At the end of the day, 9.5 out of 10 times, I come up with something really, really delicious. So if you need a little guidance in that department, I'm here for you. We're going to explore together. I've never made this one before. I'm making it literally for you. So let's have some fun with this and let's get started. And one other thing that I'll say in going forward, if I put up an ingredient that you can't get in your country, just fill it in with something else. I mean, if I have if you have a hard time getting a hold of Yukon Gold potatoes, use any potatoes. If you have a hard time getting a hold of zucchini, try to use any other squash, or even go ahead and use a bean. It doesn't matter. Just be daring, be bold, be creative, and just continue to fall forward because that's what life is all about. So here we go. Let's do this. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and start by sautéing some vegetables. And then after that, I'm going to go ahead and make a vegetable pate. So what I'm already figuring out is that I'm going to use cubed vegetables that I'm going to run through the food processor to just slice and make my life a lot easier. But if you don't have a food processor, always a handy dandy knife and you can chop away, which I'm not afraid of either. But since this is here, for the sake of time, I'm just going to use the food processor. We'll start chopping some vegetables. I'll saute those vegetables. I'll get them ready, and that'll be one of our layers. Beyond that, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a vegetable pate. I'm going to show you how to make a vegetable pate. And within that, we're going to probably put some garbanzo beans for protein. I'm also, for protein, I'm going to use tempeh. So if you have access to tempeh, this is incredible. Each one of these little blocks here has 51 grams of protein. Now, these are 510 calories, so you don't need to eat a whole one. But just consider that half of this has over 25 grams of protein, and it's just clean, pure energy. So consider tempeh. If you don't have tempeh, then you can go right to tofu, and you can use tofu as well. You can use that in your vegetable saute, or you can use tofu in your veggie stir fry. So either way, you can just add the protein. If you don't have either one of those, then make it up with beans. I'm going to use garbanzos as well because I love garbanzos. I love chickpeas. Or if not, use the world available to most people. Tell me if it's not available in your part of the world, because this would be a shame, but lentils. I believe lentils are available just about anywhere, and if they're not, that's sad. So here we go. Um, JP taught me that if you cut both ends, then all you have to do is literally just go through it, and it looks so much prettier than mine. So thanks, JP. I appreciate it. And here's the end. Look how beautiful. He saved 100% of it. And then here's the bottom. So I'm going to put these to the food processor in with the carrots and the onions. Then I'm going to saute all these things and also celery. Forgot the celery. Ready? So our food processor is packed. And we're going to go into a saute mode, my favorite part. Here we go. So while the pan is heating up, let's not waste any time because I didn't get my workout in this morning. JP reminded me of something. I'm supposed to crank out 100 push-ups today. So I'll just do them in increments of 10. So I'm just going to drop down and do 10 because there's no reason to waste any time. My son is calling me out. So here we go. I'll do one or two more just for good measure. Now I got to wash my hands. So I'm going to have family over again. Every time we do these, it's family night. So I'm going to cook a big batch. If you're one or two people, just do a tiny batch. But just so you know, batch cooking for me is the best way to go. I can actually freeze things and eat them the next few weeks, or just eat them a few days straight. Batch cooking has changed the way that I do everything. I don't go hungry because there's always food available in the fridge. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start making the pate while the saute is on the pan and starting to really do its thing. I want things to get caramelized and sweet. But if you have a food processor to make a pate, you want to use your, what they call your S-blade. See what he's called it, S-blade. Put it in there. And then we'll start adding some of our veggies. I'm going to put in, let's see, carrots. And I'll pate those first because they're pretty hard and chunky. So here we're going to continue with diced tomatoes. I'm going to put a little Italian flair on our lasagna because it's an Italian food. Put a little tomato in there. And then let this simmer some more. I'm a big fan of smoked paprika. I'm going to add some of that in here. And I'm very generous because a lot of you know that I don't eat salt, oil, or sugar. And because I don't eat salt, oil, or sugar, I use spices to make up the difference. You know, I really flavor foods with spices. So when I see something like this, that's not a good thing for me because I'm never going to just use that little bit. I'm going to show you how I do spices. So I'm going to go right in here, take that cap off, and this is the way I do spices. Because when you don't use salt, you make it up with spices. I also learned something fascinating the other day, which is that spices count as one of the 30 ingredients that you're supposed to eat per week, or one of the 30 plants you're supposed to eat per week. So consider that the spice that I just put in there had 21 different plants in there. So for your gut microbiome, you're doing yourself such a service to feed yourself these. And let me show you this bottle. This is 21 spices in Trader Joe's, $2 something a bottle. I go through probably 3 meals. I go through an entire bottle because I want to really flavor up my meal with a lot of the spices. Don't be shy with spices. And if you're trying to get off of the salt, one way to get off of salt is by really increasing the amount of flavors and spices you use for your meal. You don't have to use salt. And if you can get out of it, if you can get all the way out of salt, good on you, mate. All right, so this is done. All right, here we go with our pate. Here we're going to go ahead and put the whole thing, even with what's called aquafaba. And I love garlic, so we're going to go heavy on that. A lot of minced garlic, maybe even a little more. Again, I don't eat salt, people. I make up the flavors with other things that I enjoy. I don't need the salt. Believe me when I say I don't miss the salt. It just takes a while to get away from it. Okay, so let's give this a little taste. Oh man, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. But I want to add something to it. So I'm going to go ahead and add some black olives into that. And I'm going to go ahead and add some capers to that pate. I need something a little bit acidic in there, a little more acidic than just the garlic. And then I'm going to go ahead and probably just get rid of the last of my 21 spices. 21 seasoning salute. Here we go. It's nice. Man, it's nice. I can just eat that. So good. The garlic gives it a nice little bite too. So put a lot of garlic in it. It works. I'm going to use some of these sunflower seeds in there to get some oils in there. And for the consistency, I want to thicken it a little bit. I'm going to add a little bit of flaxseed, maybe like 4, 5, 6 tablespoons. Remember, this is a big batch, and the highly trusted nutritional yeast. 2, 3, 4. Watch the consistency change right before your eyes. So good. Oh man, look at that. It's looking good. Man, I can just eat that. You want to try it? So Jerry was talking to me. By Jerry, I mean not me, JP. I want to differentiate us because people confuse us and then they're saying Jerry, and I don't know if they're talking about me or JP. JP was just telling me that for pate, the consistency should be a little smoother. But I'm pushing back a little because for lasagna, I want the consistency to be a little less smooth. And man, this just tastes really good, people. I mean, if you want to just do something like this, if you're a person that eats crackers or snacks, or this is really good. This is like hummus. It's its own version. Well, it has garbanzo in it, so that makes sense. It's like a real special hummus. You can stop right here. You don't have to make the whole lasagna. I'm gonna make the whole lasagna, and we will have some left over of this because we're only going to use that in one layer. So here I'm gonna set this aside for one of my layers. I think I'm gonna go 3 layers deep on this, people. I think one layer is gonna be the veggie saute. Second layer is gonna be the pate. And the third layer is gonna be our protein. It's gonna be the tempeh. I'm excited about this. It's gonna blow your mind. So I'm just gonna clean this up and get right back.
All right.
Okay,
All right.
So now you're trying it without the salt.
The salt.
Without the salt.
Okay. It's still really good.
Can you see yourself eating that, like how you eat your hummus? Mm-hmm. Can you see? This is like a new hummus with.
That's yummy.
This is hummus 3.0. This is hummus 3.0. This is hummus on steroids. Now we're gonna just cut down our tempeh so it could be easily processed by the food processor. I want to take it to the consistency of about ground beef is what I'm looking for on this. There we go. We're going to go ahead and add more paprika just because I want to run out of it. So basically, I'm just going to put it somewhere. I'm going to go ahead and add more tomatoes to this because I'm looking for that hamburger consistency. I'm going to add the rest of the olives because I want to get rid of them. I'm going to add some more capers because I just love the flavor of capers and their acidity. Acidity. How do you say it, JP?
Acidity.
Acidity. Oh my gosh, we get to learn so much from our children. Although he's 30 years old, so don't kid yourself. No kid there. Here we go, more garlic. After we're done doing this, Jerry and I are going to bust out probably a 4-mile run. He doesn't know that yet, but we're going to go for it. I'm going to add some basil because I'm still looking for that Italian flair. Let me just get the stems out. I'm going to throw all this in there. I just want to get the thick stems out. I just don't want to be wasteful. This big thing. You see these big stems? We don't want them in there. But all the little twigs and all that, those are fine. Those will cook down. Get ready for this. Oh my God, I can smell this. Okay, there we go, people. Ready for this one. Move this around, it's going to get really muddy down there. Check this out. Pulsing is what does it. You have to pulse it, pulse it, pulse it, and it brought in all that basil into what I'm calling ground tempeh. Not ground beef, ground tempeh. 51 grams of protein within a pack. Now, I heard from the doctors that I have had on my podcast, you can't process 51 grams of protein in one sitting. That's over the top. I think we can only process in the 30s, maybe 40, but we think that more is always better, but more is not always better. All right, and we'll saute this. I'm going to give it about 10 minutes. We'll get this all the way hot all the way through. We want all those soybeans nice and roasted. You want to check the microphone here. This is heating up nicely. As you can see, there's a little charring in the pan. That's what I wanted. That's on purpose. That'll give it a little bit of that smoky flavor that I'm looking for. So don't be shy in letting it get a little brown in there. That's exactly what I want. We're sort of mimicking hamburger, ground beef. Okay, this got probably another 5 minutes. And then while we do that, let's get to the mandolin. So this is going to serve as our pasta, ribbons of pasta for a lasagna. This one will do the same thing as well. Mandolin's a scary instrument. You got to be very careful. And I'm trying to look for the thickness. This might be a little, that's not bad actually. I'm going to go a little thinner though. So I'm going to just go up a little bit. Let me see. See? Oh yeah, this is probably about the thickness of lasagna pasta. So this will cook nicely, and this will help us hold everything together. One thing I will recommend as I'm talking to you, You know, there's a tool that this comes with that I never use because I think I'm too good for that tool. You can easily leave a piece of your finger in the mandolin, so be very mindful when you're doing this and don't get too close because it's very easy to do. Add more flavor. I just added more capers. I found that it needed a little more acidity. Is it acidity, JP? Acidity, I got that word. My first language was Spanish, so I didn't learn English till I was about 11 years old. And sometimes my tongue just doesn't want to do what it should. There it is. There's exactly what it needed. A little more acidity. When a meal just doesn't punch you enough, you need a little bit of a punch right behind your jawline. If you're not getting that punch, it's because you need some acidity. I got that word down. All right. Our ground tempeh is done. We're going to continue with our pasta, mock pasta ribbons. And then we're going to assemble our lasagna. These are a little trickier than the zucchini. Woo! It would make one heck of a video if I cut myself. But I'm not looking for that type of audience. I like the audience that's probably more concerned about my safety than the one that's just waiting for me to cut myself. So if I cut myself, I'm not posting this, JP. I'm telling you right now. I'm not giving anybody that pleasure. Okay, so I'm going to just put some tomato sauce in the bottom of the pan so my eggplant doesn't stick. So here's going to be how we built this thing. Build this. This is our mock pasta. See, now it won't stick. Now, put a little more in there. Okay. Then I'm going to start with the pate. I'm going to go about a 1/4 inch thick with the pate. Not too crazy, but not too skinny. I want some substance in there. Oh man, look at that. I'll tell you, the next time, I would add some raisins to this. You know, the acidity, boy, I'm getting good. The acidity, and then with the sweetness, oh man. So here I'm going to go with zucchini for pasta. And I want things to sort of overlap, so when you cut it, it doesn't fall apart. Look at this. Check it out. This works really well. I can be picky. I can actually just use the nice ones. The leftover vegetables, I'll just stir fry in something. Never goes to waste here. Okay, here we go. About a little handy dandy. This one right here. Okay, look at that. Okay. Now I'm going to go with that stir fry with that vegetable saute. I changed my mind. I'm going to go with the middle layer. I'm going to go with the tempeh. I felt like we needed the protein in the middle because it's going to be very satisfying. I think it's going to take up most of the tempeh that we made. I better not eat a lot while I'm cooking if we want to go on that run, JP. Better keep myself a little lighter.
You want to get hungry before you eat.
I want to get hungry. That run will do it. Can you believe that this was only a little bit over a year ago that I could hardly walk down the street with back pain and inflammation pain and all kinds of pains that were just making me very immobile. And now, oh, you know what? I'm long overdue for 10 push-ups. So maybe in between these layers, I'll drop down and crank some more because I've totally forgotten about my movement today. Look at that. Boy, did we nail that or what?
No measurements.
No measurements, just creativity. Look at this. Look at this. Okay. Oh. I'm going to go with eggplant to cover the protein, the tempeh. Go that way with this. I'm going to go like that. Man, I'm so excited. This is turning out so good. Look at us. Look at us. Look at that. Look at that. And now, for the grand finale, vegetable saute. Go. All right. This is going to be over the top. And when I say over the top, I mean literally over the top. Oh, I'm going to put it all in there. I'm going to use it all. I'm going to make it sort of like a shepherd's pie. Just going to be tall. Check that out. These carrots from Cal Organic Farms, they are delicious. I used to, in my prior life, more than 25 years ago, I used to wholesale produce. I had a wholesale produce company, and I shipped produce from California to Japan. I sold to hundreds of restaurants in the Napa Valley. So I love produce. And Cal Organic Farms, Whole Foods carries their brand a lot. Cal Organic Farms just did such a beautiful job growing produce and distributing at their peak of ripeness. So just love it. Check it out. So we're gonna go. I really want to impress my granddaughter with this. So I'm trying to make these look like little fishes on the top, but I don't think I'm getting my way. So I'm gonna go a little different with it in the spirit of impressing my granddaughter. I'm gonna go every other one, and then I'm gonna have to go back with green. So we're gonna go green and yellow with these. Check it out. I'll be creative. I'm gonna pull it together, Grandpa. All right, so we got this one. I gotta do one more zucchini. We sliced a little bit more zucchini to complete our lasagna. There we go. London's gonna be proud of Grandpa. There we go. There we go. Yellow and green. She's always asking me, what's your favorite color, Grandpa? What's your favorite color? Let's see, I'm a couple short, so I can probably just do two more. 2 or 3 more. There's one there. Since my fingers have made it through this, let me not get greedy and just go to another new piece of zucchini. There we go. I'm going to do one more thing. We want this to steam in there. The only things remaining left to cook are the zucchini and the eggplant. That's it. So this should probably only take about 30 to 45 minutes at 350, but I'll let you know shortly. So here we go. There we go. See you on the other side. So we got her done. We let her cool off a little bit in the oven. And then let's see what we got. So here, we probably didn't cover enough. So next time I would just put a lot more zucchini, or I would cover the top with eggplant and just let it overlap. But I don't worry about the minor details. I'm more concerned about flavor and what is this gonna look like. So I'm gonna just probably cut it this way a little bit. Check this. Oh man, I'm liking the density. I'm telling you right now, I'm liking the density. We clean in between. Clean in between takes. Now that I have the tool, I'm gonna try it. Let me just use this big knife. Let's see. A lot of different textures. Meaty. It feels meaty. The tempeh gives it a nice meaty texture. Oh my gosh, you guys. You know, I'm gonna have a happy family tonight. They're gonna enjoy this. The guy behind the camera will be the first, since he's been here all day doing this with me. And by all day, in preparation, this probably took 30 to 45 minutes to put everything together, to assemble it. Let me go conservative. If you chop slow, or if you don't have a food processor, give it an hour and 15 minutes to chop everything. Then maybe a 15, 20 minutes to assemble it. And then it took literally only about an hour and 15 minutes at 350 degrees with the foil on. And I'm really happy with this highly protein, whole plant-based, whole foods lasagna. Not a drop of anything that's not whole in there, nothing out of a box. I'm super proud of it, and I hope you try it, enjoy it. Again, if you're missing an ingredient, don't be shy. Just change it, put something else in it, omit, add, make it your own creation. It's just a way to get started. Have a great day.